start and you set about making the same mistakes you get a fresh start and you set about making the same mistakes you get a fresh start and you set about making the same mistakes you get a fresh start and you set about making the same mistakes you get a fresh start and you set about making the same mistakes you get a fresh start and you set about making the same mistakes again.
Do you ever feel like there's something wrong in the world around you? Do you feel like you're being lied to? Do you think you know more than the people in charge? Join us as we answer these questions and many more. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. on radio, fradio.com.
We never talked about an intro.
It's true. We also never talked about what the show's going to be.
Nope.
Until like this afternoon, this evening. So I've been very busy.
Yeah.
This is going to be freeform this hour.
Yep.
Because we don't have the show ready. Sometimes you have to go on air and you don't have the show ready. What is this going to be? I don't know. Shit.
Stuff
on the radio.
Things.
It's theater of the mind.
Matt and Justin talking into microphones.
Microphones that are melting slowly in the heat.
I'm melting.
Here's what we're doing today, Justin.
Huh?
Because we can't just have a show where it's just us talking about how much we love our listeners.
No.
Which is what these sessions usually. This is an actual show. And on this show, we're finally going to get to know someone that we never get to know, that never seems to get interviewed. I'm interviewing you, Justin.
Oh, God.
We're putting you in the
who
hot
and
seat.
why would anybody? Why would anybody?
Because I think you've
give a
got an
shit
interesting. I
about
think
what
you've got an interesting story.
Nobody. I'm not good at storytelling. We've figured
This
that
isn't
much
about
out.
storytelling. This is about answering questions. This is about getting grilled.
Huh.
You're about to get grilled like a goddamn dirty water dog that isn't being cooked like that in the water. It's actually getting grilled. Okay,
It's like
whatever.
a sauna in here. So
Yeah, so there's only one thing to
I'm being
do. when
microwaved.
It's only one thing to do when there's a sauna around.
Yeah.
Get out your cock rings.
I mean, it wouldn't
Shit
be
on the floor.
It wouldn't be an RFR show without it.
It's time to get swifty.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, you should. You should and you will.
Blam.
Justin, I just, you always interview everyone that comes through.
Mhm.
You interview. We got our sauna picture up. It looks like the sauna at the Overlook Hotel in 1921.
Yes.
You've always been here.
Mm-hmm.
Right there between that dude's legs. What is that? Red Hot. Get your Red Hots.
Red Hots, get your Red Hots.
Get your Red Hots. Between my legs. I think he's got a very nice chest. Very supple.
Wait, Red Hot guy?
Yeah, Red Hot guy.
Really?
Yeah, look at it. He looks like a G.I. Joe. He looks like a he's got that bendy torso.
He's got man boobs.
Yeah. Whatever.
His boobs are as big as hers.
Way bigger.
Yeah.
Way bigger. Ugh, it's just, there's so much going wrong in that picture. But the best thing is Satan in the back. Like, that's clearly Satan, right? He's the only one that's got a decent body.
He's happy.
He's halfway attractive.
He's so
He's
so
younger,
happy.
so much younger than everyone else. That's clearly Satan back there. He's staring directly into the camera, and he's giving you a look like, "Hey, I'm Satan. You've made a deal with the devil. Look at this guy's red hot.
He stole all of their souls.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Satan."
What up? What up, though?
Justin,
Uh-huh.
first, I have to ask a question because your partner over at YWS.
YMS?
Yep. DJ.
Uh-huh.
He said that you were once playing a house party
Uh-huh.
with one of your mini bands,
Yes.
and someone shit on the floor.
Someone shit on the floor.
He take down his pants and his panties.
It wasn't... I don't know what that means at all.
Shit on the floor.
You keep saying that.
It's time to get swifty.
We were... that was Great American Headache. We were in Great American Headache,
Okay.
and we played a house party. I don't remember whose house it was. I remember after our set, I went into the bathroom to go pee. Hey,
Hey, Hattie, come sit.
I
Join the show.
I went to go pee and somebody had shit on the floor. And so that became a thing. I can't believe somebody shit on the floor.
How many times did it happen after that? Was that the only
It's the only
occurrence of
time.
someone shitting on the floor?
It's the only, well, Great American Headache didn't last much longer after that, I don't
Okay.
think. I think the shit is what broke us up.
How many bands have you been in?
Mm,
And can you
Depends.
name them?
depends.
Depends was your first one.
Yeah.
The underground garments of rock is what you called it.
Well, it was cool because nobody got to shit on the floor because they shit into the
Shit,
Depends.
yep, Depends.
So that was awesome.
Way better band.
If the question is how many bands has Justin Wilson been in,
That's right.
like 3.
Is there someone that we don't know in there?
Um,
Was there a persona? Was there a
people have for years have been trying to tell me that I was in a band called Josh Smokes Too Much, but no, that's Kyle Pontiac. He's in that band. They
Where are
had
you, Kyle Pontiac?
no.
Okay.
They're from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They're kings of art grind. They call themselves art grind messiahs.
Mhm.
They love golfing. They love pork barbecue. And for whatever reason, they have like really thick Brooklyn accents.
Okay. From Florida though.
They're from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Kyle Pontiac and Jimmy Blastbeats
Yeah.
in the band Josh Smokes Too Much.
No Josh.
No, Josh. Jimmy Blastbeats was on drums. Kyle Pontiac played bass and guitar occasionally.
Same time.
Yes.
Got to.
Yeah.
Got to.
So,
So-
it's a 2-man band.
Why did you stop pursuing music?
I'm not good at it.
Okay. You know what? That's a valid point. A
Uh,
lot of people will continue doing something they're not good at. I'm not one of those people.
Well, I'm a creature of comfort.
Uh-huh.
When Great American DJ was the drummer for Great American Headache, he decided he didn't want to do it anymore, and partial laziness, partial comfort made me not seek out another drummer
Mhm.
because DJ already knew the songs. I didn't. It was bad enough. Ronald played bass for him for Great American Headache. Josh played bass for Great American Headache, and I felt like each practice, DJ and I had to teach them the bass parts to the songs that they already knew,
Okay.
like for every
I could
practice.
see that would get a little annoying.
Yeah. So, I didn't want to have to teach a new drummer
Mhm.
these songs. We didn't have any solid recordings of it either. So it's like DJ was like, man, I'd rather wait until he was willing to record really good recordings so I could find a drummer. But both of us equal lazy.
Did you
So-
guys do originals or covers?
Mostly originals.
Okay.
We had a couple covers. We did like a Green Day song, Nirvana song, Local H. We actually, the Atlanta Braves chop,
Mhm.
the tomahawk chop.
Sure.
We covered
You
that
covered that
as a rock song.
Sometimes you have to.
It was fun.
Now,
We'd open with that.
Is that something you miss? Is that something that you wish you had like practiced a little more or pursued a little harder, or is it something you're completely fine with?
Well, right now, thankfully, I have this. I have Radio Free Radio.
Right.
I have the shows where I'm getting to express a lot of my creativity, and that's the only thing I was missing from being in a band is I wasn't able to express. Even now, like I don't get to write that's the biggest thing I still miss is I'm not writing.
Right.
Doing this, I'm getting my creative out, but I'm not writing, and I'm completely rusty. I wrote a song, I don't know, a month and a half ago, and it was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked the guitar work to it. I liked the lyrics. I liked the melody, but again, laziness. I'd have to put a band around me, and when do I have time to put a band around me?
Oh, you got a band around you. I'll tell you who's got a band around him. Guy's CAC. So is that what led into YMS? How did YMS come about?
So DJ and I got tired of being in failing bands, and we were like, what's one of the reasons bands are failing around here? There's nowhere you can hear local music. And so we were like, well, let's just start a podcast. And so we did.
And this is pretty early on. Like, there weren't a lot of podcasts out there.
No, this was like,
especially in this area. I mean,
right. This was like 2009. So there was like a handful here. And I mean, there was a good amount. So it's like 4 or 5 years into podcasting. But
yeah, but it seems like that's right when the bigger ones came. Like, I think, Smodcast and Kevin Smith started 2007, 2008, somewhere in there.
Yep.
Probably 2008. So it seems like you were really on the cusp of podcasting.
So much so that iTunes ganked us.
Oh.
We had the Your Music Show iTunes feed, and I was promoting it like heavy. I had no idea like what we were doing as far as downloads. I still don't. I don't know how many downloads any of these shows do on iTunes. I have no idea how to find that number.
Yeah, you can't really find it.
Yeah. So, but we had to have been doing well, because one day I go to look for the YMS iTunes, and it had been taken over by Your Mac Show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So you
Thanks, Apple.
Yeah, you can't find Your Music Show anymore. We tried to resubmit several times, and they never took it back.
I never noticed that. So since then you have not been on iTunes.
Right. Well,
with YMS.
With YMS, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
I had no idea.
Years upon years of podcasts that never made it to iTunes.
So how did you get these bands? Is it something that you just reached out to them and said, "Hey, come be on the show"? Because I mean, you guys started to get some pretty decent heat for your band appearances.
Yeah, the kitchen was where it's at. It started with Talbert was the third man, and he just would like harass bands on MySpace. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
And we started collecting songs, and then eventually Matt Thomas was like, well, what if we had bands in your kitchen, DJ? And he was like, yeah, I'm cool with that. And so we just, whoever would take the opportunity. And, eventually, well, even if you talk to Steve now, like we had Feral Conservatives on in 2012, 2013. And he said that was the reason he wanted to play music and the reason he wanted to do the show. And we had Rio on the show, like in our last year of doing the Sunday show. And they said they wanted to do our show because they saw the Vacations do it. And like I said, there's people, Jackie P of DJP and Mr. T actually was telling people that it was kind of like a rite of passage for bands in the area. I don't know, like it was a lot for us. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun too. So I don't know why that equated so well for the bands. I guess they had a great time too. So
do you think you'll ever be able to get YMS back up to where it was?
I don't know, man. I don't know how DJ feels about it. We took some time because he and his wife had a baby, and I'm trying to give him as much space as he needs, man. Because I remember what it was like with I was stupid when my daughter was born. I kept doing it, and I did it like all the time, and I didn't make enough time for my daughter. He doesn't want to do that. He's taking his time,
which is smart.
Oh, it's absolutely smart. He's always been smarter than me. I am a go. I'm not the one to half-ass anything. Like once I've decided I'm going to do something, I'm doing that 100%, and it takes over my life.
Well, I also think that you guys have the luxury of we've got the station now, so it's not like you're just languishing and the relationships are falling apart.
Right.
You can still maintain through the station all those relationships with the bands, and then when DJ's ready to come back and YMS is ready to relaunch, it's not like you guys are starting from ground zero.
Right.
At least we've got the station up and running, and obviously there'll always be a spot for YMS.
Yeah, and just whenever he's ready, I'm ready. And the question of whether we can ever, we had talked to whenever we went over to Alt Radio, which they're kind of like the bastard stepchildren of WHRO.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we started doing the show over there, we went over to just check out the studio, and we were talking about maybe us being live on the air for Alt Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started talking about bringing back the Sunday show there, because all the equipment's already set up, it's already there. That was the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the reasons DJ didn't want to do the Sunday show anymore. He's like, man, this is too much work. And I agree. It was a 2-man show. We have this stuff's all set up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like every week we had to set up and tear down a band, all this kind of equipment, and a whole back room full of more equipment every week.
It's interesting because you bring up altradio.org. That's essentially the genesis of Radio Free Radio.
Yeah,
That was
because
the reason. Not the reason so much, but we went and talked and we said, hey, we've got this idea. Help us get on the air. Now, we were being a little nefarious, I think, because I think our goal was, let's take over that, which is what we do.
Yeah.
How can we take over whatever somebody else's groundwork? And I saw the alt radio setup.
Yeah.
I don't think they had, that dude was a nice dude.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we like James.
Yeah.
Problem is that dude's he lacks the vision of where something like this needs to go.
Yeah.
And it sucks to go in and talk to him about the vision that we had, which is still the same vision that we still have.
Yeah.
And nothing out of it.
Well, I mean, if nothing
But
else,
you see what happened because of it.
I was just going to say, if nothing else,
We work towards this.
Yeah, it was a swift kick in the nuts to say, hey, you know what? We'll just do like we always do and do it ourselves.
Now, and if you're not comfortable talking about this, just let me know.
Okay.
Just change the subject. But we allude one of the big secrets, mysteries. I don't know. One of the big pieces of trivia about Good Morning You Drunks is none of us really drink.
Right.
Now, for me, I'm just not a drinker anymore because I'm a binge drinker.
Right.
So when I start drinking, I drink until I have to go to the hospital. Nathan, I don't think has ever been a drink. He's just not into drinking. But you had a bit of a problem.
I'm a recovering alcoholic. 7 years.
What was that like? What happened? What made you finally stop? And how bad were you?
Well, everybody thinks they're not an alcoholic because, I can drink one and stop. They never think about the fact that it's the real reason you're an alcoholic is because you have to have that one, not because you can only have one. It's because you have to have that one. And that's the way I was. I'd gotten it, what I thought was controlled. And I was having like one a day, and I'm like, man, this is easy street.
Sure.
And, one day I just went off the deep end again and
Shit on the floor. Got swifty.
Never shit on the floor. We still don't know who shit on the floor, but somebody shit on the floor.
Can I guess? I'm gonna go Josh.
I don't know if Josh was there. Who was there? I think we played without a bass player that show. And yeah, we did. We didn't have a bass player that show.
Who shit on the floor?
We'll never know because I don't remember whose house it was. I was still drinking at that point. So I remember it happened. I remember wearing my Wake Forest hat, and that's about all I can tell you.
So at your worst, how bad was it?
Well, again, like that, the night that I decided, I drank until I blacked out, and next thing I knew, I was home in my bed, and I don't know how at all.
Just lost time.
Lost all of it. Like, I don't remember the night before. I don't remember driving home. I know I drove home, but I don't know how. And I just woke up and I'm like, look, man, I looked right at the mirror and I'm like, dude, you cannot do this anymore. and it's
Don't they
time.
call that the moment of clarity?
Yeah, and I call it, dude, you're an alcoholic, and there's no more of a sinking feeling than when you look in the mirror and say that to yourself. But it was exactly what I needed, and other than a couple, like those first couple months were rough, and every now and again I get the craving for a beer. I still say that's the worst part. Is I did genuinely like beer, but it caused a problem. So you can't drink it if it causes a problem.
Yeah, and we're in the golden age too.
Yeah,
it's got to kill you.
Yeah, there's just all sorts of great beers to try, but I feel like there's no problem, and that I could easily drink a beer, but I don't want to play with fire. You know what I mean? Like
there's no reason to, especially if it means your family.
Exactly. I'm not trying to lose that. And if I would have kept drinking, this wouldn't be happening. There's no way I would have had the drive or desire.
Yeah.
Like I would be at home sleeping right now if I was alive.
Speaking of drive and desire, where did you see yourself now, 10 years ago?
Okay. So at 25, 2005, I don't know, man. I didn't have much vision. I've always had the drive. That's one thing that's never changed about me. I've always been just my brother Rob will tell you, he's in the other room when we go off the air. I've always been driven, but I don't know, maybe a musician, because I was still doing a lot of projects then. And at one point, Ronald and I started a record label, Dirty Wood Inc. And we just created a whole bunch of bands that we were gonna put out on it, and I guess we thought that maybe that would be the thing. But as tends to be the thing, I went all in, and I had nobody else go all in with me.
Yeah.
So
what's your biggest disappointment?
Often myself.
I've noticed that about you. You're always down on yourself. Now I know a certain percentage of that is an act, but I also feel like a certain percentage of that is you and your lowered self-worth.
Yeah.
Does that stem from something? Is that just being beaten down by life?
I think it's all the double middle fingers in my life. I mean, I've gotten a lot of them. I try not to complain about it a lot, because a lot of people get double middle fingers for everything. I complain about it to close friends. Like, I occasionally have a bitch session, but I don't know. I think that I'm a bit of a perfectionist too. So anytime I screw up, even just a little tiny bit, it crushes me.
Which is, I'm trying to help you get over that. Because for some reason, Popped every week, the production just stops playing.
Yeah.
And you just got to laugh it off.
I can't.
Got to laugh it off.
It crushes me.
And we acknowledge it.
Yeah.
We acknowledge it.
And
we
that
laugh
crushes
at it.
me harder.
No, you can't let that crush you.
It hurts.
Oh.
I don't know. Like it's just not easy to let go of. And, I pride myself in my work, and this is my work. And it screws up all the time.
I get that. It does screw up, but it's not your fault. Like, it's not like you're pressing the wrong button or something. It's limited to the hardware that we're working with.
Yeah.
And it's a limitation of the hardware. So we know, holy crap,
Is it raining?
Just raining. Is all the equipment going to get wet?
Oh, no, there's a roof, so we should be good.
We're good.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Now, one of the things that endeared you to me is your willingness to, and we'll go to the bits later, but your willingness to do a joke for one person. Like that roof thing is that is a joke that is so inside. Well, it was something that Ronald said.
Yeah. Is everything going to be all right?
Is everything
in the
going to
garage?
be, because it started raining, is everything going to be okay in the garage?
We're
Well,
like,
yeah, we got this roof. Nobody knows that, but you zone in on it and just attack it to the point where
oh,
it becomes the joke, and people know it's the joke. Uh-oh, I'm worried about power at this point. Power's getting a little swifty. Yep, Cockring's back. Cock ring. I mean, No, but there's layers.
Mm-hmm.
There's layers to everything that you do. And one of them is the fact that we've had a picture of naked men that we've only Heidi's here with us. Do you have any idea what we're talking about half the time you listen to the shows? When we're just talking about the naked men in the room?
Well, I knew what it was personally. I mean, but I'm really close to you guys. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
She's been out here a couple times, and it's probably been
yeah,
up.
it's nothing new.
Yeah, we had it up when we did the Crystal Pepsi shoot,
That's true.
which you can
That's true.
see, like,
Right
if
now.
you look closely.
Well, yeah, there's clues.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I love is transmedia, and like you're not going to get the full RFR experience unless you watch us online and look at our posts and things like that, because all the jokes carry across.
Yep.
I thought you were going to say something about that Caitlyn Jenner trans
No, that's
Media.
transsexual.
transmedia.
Transmedia is just
Well, to
across
do with
different media.
transsexual people.
No,
No, that's trans issues.
I think it's transmedia, but it's 2 words.
Transam.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
But then the other thing is the bit. And one of our dear friends, Alfredo Torres, loves the fact that you're always in the bit.
I've just always been that way. There's nothing I love more than a good bit. And it doesn't matter if the bit is for you and me. It doesn't matter if the bit's just for me and Fredo. There's a bit that, you remember Dan Plummer? He came down for All Day You Drunks. There's a bit that we did. There was a player in the NFL. His name was Najee Davenport, and he was like number 43. I don't remember. He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The joke between him and I, and it was literally for him and me, and it would infuriate anybody else within like a 5-foot radius of us, would be, I would say, oh yeah, Manaim Gay Davenport, number 34 for the Green Bay Packers. And his response would be, yeah, Menage Davenport, number 34 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was the bit. That was it. Just us incessantly repeating that. And neither of us would back down. To me, that's hysterical. To Plummer, that's hysterical.
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
Nobody
I
else.
don't care. That's just funny to me.
But you know what? I feel like it becomes, if especially if you listen to like GMYD, especially, we've got one of our favorite listeners, Rick, who shot us a message that was like, I try to show my wife the funniest parts of GMYD and she doesn't get it. It's like, that's because you've been listening for a while.
Yeah.
The funniest things to you isn't going to be the stuff that we're intentionally trying to put out there that on the surface are funny. The stuff that's going to be funniest to you is going to be stuff like Tommy and Nathan arguing with Tommy.
Yeah.
All of the little
The
potty kid. All of those things can be funny to people just listening. But if you listen all the time, it becomes a running gag. You don't miss anything if you don't listen all the time, except I fucking hate you and you should listen all the time.
Oh,
but
you might miss Matt drop the C-bomb.
Oh, wow. I feel bad about that. I still feel bad about that.
Yeah.
Because, I'm way different than the persona. And that I just got carried away.
Matt the character will drop the C-bomb all day. Actually, I don't know that Matt the character would drop the C-bomb all day.
No. That's even outside of character. But Matt the character was in character as a redneck who has no problem with it and hates women.
Yeah. Oh.
So you got the station now.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's been a lot of work getting it up. But I mean, how do you feel? How do you feel after all of these years of not being able to move the? I mean, you've not saying you haven't moved the needle forward, but you keep kind of stalling out. Yeah, certain things like you try the podcast route and then that kind of stalls out. With YMS, try putting it on altradio.org to increase. That kind of stalled a little, but now with the station. I mean, how does it feel to finally put something out there, say, hey, can you guys help us out and support us? And then have people actually support us. I mean, how does that feel finally?
Incredible. It makes the sting of all the past failures a lot
Mhm.
easier to take, because I mean, if you include, I guess it depends on what you include, because Talbert and I tried to start a radio station. And when I say try to start a radio station, we took a tape deck and recorded ourselves talking
It
in
happens.
like 1998. So, I mean, technically speaking, I've been doing it since then.
Yeah.
So to see that I'm finally doing something that, number one, I love. Number two is helping to provide a platform for a lot of people like Chocolate Milk and Waffles,
Mhm.
the Pissed guys. They're really excelling. Just to have this platform available, and I would have killed to have something like Radio Free Radio in 1998. I would have killed to have been able
Would
to
have
hop
been
in.
possible, but
Well, you know what I mean? Like, if I guess technically maybe I could have gone to 96X then
Yep.
and done, you know, the typical route, because that still existed then. I could have gone and been an intern, but I didn't know that. And
well, it seems like something that's impossible.
yeah. And, you know, just like this at one point it was
Seems like it's impossible.
this was always the goal, but it, you know, it felt like the goal line kept getting moved back.
Well,
on
it just
me.
doesn't seem like something you can do
Yeah. And
until, you know, I say, nah, here you go.
Yeah.
Done.
I mean, money was always the wall that DJ and I kept hitting,
Mhm.
and neither one of us had that, you know, that trigger that you have. Like, fuck it, I'll pull it.
I might not be able to eat in the future, but fuck it. What am I doing?
But it feels amazing to again be making radio nightly, even if it's not my show. Being, you know, a lot of times if you watch, I may look exhausted, I may look pissed off. You like you know, there was a portion of Pop last night where I looked pretty pissed off because
Definitely wasn't working.
machinery and that. But all in all, I leave the studio every night satisfied completely, and you know, it's worth every second. And I don't know, man. It's amazing that it's happening, that it's coming together, that it's not just our friends.
No.
It's
People we don't know.
it's people we don't know that are getting on board, and they want to join. They want to pledge.
I mean, look at some of the people that we've met that are actually working with us now, like Dustin.
Yeah.
Dustin was just a fan off the street,
Yeah.
literally, and was said, yeah, come, you can.
He DM'd us on
associate producer.
Twitter one day, and he's like, "Hey, man, I know you guys said something about needing people to come in. Can I come in?" I was like, "Please."
He was a fan of Matt and Nate, and then became a fan of Good Morning You Drunk.
Yeah.
And now is an important part of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he knows just how important, but an incredible important part of the show. I mean, we need him there. We rely on him.
Oh, him
So-
and Jeff.
And that's what I was going to get to. And then, you know, more recently, Jeff's come on board and has been kind of filling out the rest of the week. And just having somebody come in and help has been fantastic.
It's amazing to have that. You know, it seems like not that much work, but when you put it all together at the end of the night after 4 hours of broadcasting,
Mhm.
it's at least a minimum of an hour more of work that I don't have to do. And it means I get to leave a little bit earlier. It
Yep.
means I get to actually get some sleep that night, maybe. It's amazing. And I can't thank those guys enough. So,
But that station stuff,
yeah.
we talk about
Damn it.
station stuff all the time. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Let's hear about Justin. I want to know what Justin likes.
Stuff.
What's your favorite local band?
That's not fair.
It's not fair. And everybody knows that you support everyone equally.
Because I have a soft spot.
Yeah, but who are
I have a
and
s-
some you're friendlier with than others, and
Yeah.
some you've just met. But who out there? Here's a better one. Maybe this isn't a better one. Who do you think is on the verge of hitting?
Bonshare.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And we just met those cats last
yeah.
week.
Really nice dudes. They've got a really unique sound. I know it seems like I'm jumping on a
Are they on in rotation?
it
heard 'em.
seems lame to jump on a band that has horns, because like that's a thing. Like people like horns automatically
It's
makes
that
a band.
big sound.
But I feel like they're different from these other bands that are putting out horn music. From Virginia Beach, which that kind of music coming out of Virginia Beach is ultra rare. Usually you're getting your punk, your hardcore out of Virginia Beach. You're not getting a lot of indie, and I dig it. It's very jazzy, very jazzy. I love it. They're really good cats too. Hard pressed to say that feral conservatives haven't broken. I mean,
It's insane that they're not national.
it is insane.
It's insane that they're not getting national airplay.
I think
That record is that record's amazing.
it is, and it's front to back amazing.
Yeah.
It's let me listen to this on repeat amazing.
Not
And-
just because I know the band now.
Yeah.
I legitimately love that album.
Well, you said it immediately after we saw them at the record release. Was they're great, and I was like, I agree. Has that's major. They had, when we saw them at the record release, they had a guitar player who had played on the record, but then most of the other shows they were going back to being a 3-piece. And I think having that constant layer of guitars just really sets what Rashi's doing apart even more.
Yeah.
And again, adding on the bass was like a brilliant. It was when they were a 2-piece, they were a good band. I really dug what they were doing, but now they're a band. They're a force to be reckoned with.
Band with capital letters.
Yeah, so I'm digging them. If I don't mention Broken Mouth Annie or Sick Man of Virginia here, I'll hit myself, because not only are they great friends to me, but they're just outstanding bands. I don't know what more to say about them. Broken Mouth Annie is just a rock. Like when you think of rock bands, Broken Mouth Annie, they're a rock band. And Sick Man, if you like guitar rock,
So I do.
Matt will melt your face off.
Yeah.
And it,
Yeah, he really will.
I'm really
He's an
looking,
astounding guitar player.
I'm really looking forward to the new tunes that we got to play one like last month or whenever they were here. May. They were here in May, and we got to debut a new song.
Okay. Now the hardest question you'll have to face tonight. You can only resurrect one band.
One local band from
Yeah, let's say indie band. Let's
Indie
not say
band.
local band. Let's not say local.
okay. So
Only one band. Who do you resurrect?
okay, so 4 come to mind, and I'll have to narrow it down from there.
Okay, we'll name up the 4.
Frood, The Gloom, Kill Circuit, and Burn the Radio. And saying them out loud like that makes it really, really, really hard. Brian's still out and about playing in Kant Avec, which in some respects I actually like more than The Gloom. So I think I'm going to eliminate The Gloom. As much as I loved, like it's dancey as opposed to like 90s wheelhouse for me with Kant Avec. Frood's unapologetic pop,
Yeah.
that I really miss in my life. They put on a great live show, really good dudes. Again, you still get to see Travis out and about playing with Dead Love Alive.
I didn't notice that Nathan was listening. Both Nathan and Sarah are listening.
Oh yeah.
Nathan
I'm
just
sorry.
wants to say that he's got a horn and he needs all of Bon Cher now.
Okay.
I don't know if that means
And
he
his-
needs them in his mouth. I don't know. Nathan's weird. And
I
of
would-
course, Sarah tunes in just in time to hear me just say transmedia. I've said transmedia to her 7 times today.
Oh,
I just won't stop saying trans. I don't know what it is.
maybe you could say transmedia.
Sarah, I apologize.
Transmedia,
Transmedia.
whatever it means.
So who are you gonna pick?
So I've got it narrowed down to Frood or Burn the Radio. It's way tougher than it should be because again, Burn the Radio was like this great rock outfit. It's that unapologetic pop. I think I'm gonna go with Burn the Radio because they left a while ago, a couple years ago,
Okay.
and I didn't get to see them one last time.
Well, then that means that we kill the other band members.
Oh well,
I
thanks.
feel bad. I'm
for-
sorry. You've sentenced them to death.
you could have easily.
I
warned
could
me of
have,
that.
but I'm that guy in the back there, smiling.
Most of my reasons for not choosing some of the other bands was that I could see them in other bands.
Well,
So
now they're dead, so now
great.
you can't.
cool.
So that's
Feels
bad.
good.
Brian really is upset with you right now.
I imagine.
Well, he's dead though. So
Damn it.
Yeah.
So
send
he's
them all to
dead.
hell. What's your favorite movie if you had to pick a favorite movie?
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Yep.
Fight Club because of what we're doing here. Always Fight Club.
Always Fight Club. There was a time in my life where I was trying to live Fight Club. I was actively trying to hit bottom. And
Never did.
no, well, I guess technically,
How close you get?
I guess it all depends on in the Thailand aspect of hitting bottom. I never came anywhere near it. I thought long and hard about doing lie burns. Never did it. Always pussed out.
Smart idea.
Yeah.
It's not something you're going to play around with.
I do have like lighter burns somewhere on me. I haven't looked for them in a while, so they might be gone.
Bottom's more romantic
Yeah.
than it really is.
Well, I see. Technically, I did hit bottom. That moment of clarity when I
It's
decided.
your bottom.
Yeah. So, but like again, in the sense of the movie Fight Club, I never came anywhere near the bottom. Really, I never lived like Marla.
If you've got questions for Justin,
Why would
either
you?
call in 757-848-5920. Either
would
call
anybody?
in or send them on the Slack or tweet them to us at No Radio Radio.
Why would anybody have any kind of questions for
Because
me?
I think you're an interesting guy, and I think you shortchange yourself a lot.
Eh.
I mean,
I'm a
I don't
background
know if
character.
I don't know of anybody else outside of Nathan that I would even attempt a radio station with.
Yeah.
And you got to think what you've done here, or what we've done here. It's hopefully the beginning of a movement.
Feels like it. Whether it's the double middle fingers movement as we see, it feels like we're getting a lot of people on board.
And legitimately on board.
Whether it means they dig the shows, or if they just dig the idea of a station playing indie music 24 hours a day, well, 20 hours a day, but that's not happening anywhere, specifically in this area.
No.
Nobody is giving that much, and this isn't let's pat ourselves on the back moment. This is just a reminder that you can hear indie music here. You can hear bands. Your neighbor may have a band that you've never gone and seen. We might be playing them.
Well, this is a lot of us have this kind of mentality, I think, which is there's a lot happening around here.
Yeah.
Let's cultivate it and let's get out there and show them appreciation.
I've never understood why it had to be the rock scene, why it had to be the hip hop scene, why it had to be the art scene. Like those can all live separately, outside, but why isn't there a place that's pushing all of it? I don't understand that. I've never understood
And now
that.
that's what that's the void we're trying to fill.
So
You think we can do it?
I think we're already starting to. I think that, again, chocolate milk and waffles, that's a really important
Mhm.
for us because they're doing something in another avenue that we're just not a part of. And it's not through lack of trying. It's not something that we wouldn't want to be actively a part of. But I would much rather, instead of trying to co-opt their work, I'd much rather say, here,
Spotlight it.
yeah, here, you
Yeah.
tell everybody about what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And
I think that's something that you don't give yourself enough credit for, because that's really what you do is you shine a light on some of this stuff that doesn't get lights shown on it. Shown.
Shoney's? You going to Shoney's?
I'm not going to Shoney's. Shoney's is all closed.
Oh.
Can you give everybody out there a no hi?
Oh, hi, everybody.
Nice. Well, where do you see the station in 5 years?
terrestrial. I don't know if it's AM or FM. We will be terrestrial by then, and we'll be part of what's changing the outlook of what terrestrial is. Because there's this thinking that terrestrial is dying, and that's true. Terrestrial is absolutely dying. There's no one will ever be able to tell me otherwise that terrestrial is alive and well. It's not. And it seems silly that that's what I'd say the answer would be, is us getting into something that's dying. But we're actively seeking change. So we're going to change.
Well, what happens when something dies? Rebirth.
Yeah. We're going to be part of that.
And hopefully rebirth into something different.
Yeah.
We were talking off air. Yes. No, we weren't talking off air. We were talking on the podcast that I didn't get done today. We were talking a little bit about what happened with radio and how it squeezed out personality.
Yeah.
What do you think we can do outside of what we're doing right now to bring back personalities? Is it bringing in jocks?
That's going to be the next wave. We're going to have to bring in jocks and let them loose. And, it's going to have to be knowledgeable people that know, the bands that they're playing. People who are genuinely excited to be sharing that music. But yeah, it's absolutely going to be jocks, and it's going to have to be like again, just like with this stuff, you have to come fully committed. You have to be willing. I'm going to need you probably, there's going to be like weekend shifts, but I'm going to need you probably 4 or 5 days a week. And you're going to have your A game, and you're going to have to be able to I'm so-and-so, and this is Radio Free Radio. You're going to have to adopt double middle fingers. You're going to have had a lot of double middle fingers thrown your way to be able to do it, because that's what we're trying to portray here is, FU, we're our own thing, and we're marching to our own drum beat, whatever the saying is.
Yeah. In fact, you gave that saying its own drum beat. So
Yes.
that was fantastic. Okay, I'm going to go through all the shows here and just give me a short, what do you think? Starting what we like to call the flagship, which is starting to go into air quotes. Good Morning, You Drunks.
It's untouchable. When we're on our A game, there's nobody. You've said it a million times. You'd put us up against national shows, and I agree. I think that when we are on our A game, when we're doing what we want to do with the show, we can't be touched. And it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's tight and it's hilarious.
That's by design.
Yeah. We aren't everybody's cup of tea.
What about WrestlePals? #WrestlePals.
Goofy. And that's what I love about it. It's different. We're not doing the same old wrestling show. It's two dudes nerding out about playing a straightforward heel character. It's fun, and that's what I like. We're talking a lot of wrestling. It's a lot of.
I mean, you guys
analysis.
definitely know your stuff.
It's a lot of analysis, and that's fine. But it's also a lot of nerding out, and it's being excited about wrestling. We're fans, and we're not afraid to show that we're fans.
What do you think about my inverted jackknife powerbomb?
Ridiculous.
I think it's going to be the next wave. Okay, what about the Nate project?
Insightful, weird. It's sometimes hard to listen to because he's not afraid to like just open up and really expose his soul. And
I wish he wouldn't do it naked.
Well, yeah, but
He should put clothes on when he does the
what do
show.
you think?
But no, it's true.
That's
I think it's fascinating that he, by design, wanted the show to be taped.
Yeah.
And has so far not taped it.
he's taped a handful. It's live almost every week.
I feel like that's equal parts. He likes the spontaneity of live.
Yeah.
And he's lazy as shit.
Well, I'm gonna go to the Fight Club quote again. I know this because Nathan knows this.
True.
So
See if he has anything to say about that. Sarah called you out.
for
Sarah does say it is too hot in the clubhouse to wear clothes. So Sarah has Nate's back.
Yeah.
I wish that it was covered. The
Yeah.
backside was covered, but
Put a towel down, Nathan.
just at least, not on the furniture,
Yeah.
poop stains. Brings us to Tuesday and Popped.
Massive potential. Keith and Sarah are busting their ball. I see it because I'm in the pop group, and that's what infuriates me about, because you guys are really getting on your feet, and when something misfires over here,
Don't worry about
and
it.
I know I shouldn't, but
I feel like it's
it's disruptive.
out of all of the shows, that show is definitely transmedia.
You're welcome, Sarah.
Definitely transmedia. Yeah, it'll be interesting once that show adds guests.
Yeah.
And now the guests are starting to come in and get booked. And then it'll be interesting to see as the caliber of guests starts to grow.
Yeah.
I think the best idea that they've had was talking at them like they're that I'm not a part. Well, one of the best thing was giving people different spots.
Yeah.
Like the local heroes guys. We got James doing the joystick syndicate. Branding's back.
That's good branding.
And Keith popping on the way nobody expected out of nowhere and populating the shit out of a very, very great page to follow
Yeah.
on Facebook. If you're not following the Pop on Facebook, you're dumb. That comes from me.
Oh.
So then I feel like there's another show on Tuesday. I can't remember what it was.
I don't either.
Deprogrammed.
Yeah.
I'm going to force you to say, if you say one negative thing about Deprogrammed, I'm gonna throw the mic at you.
It's weird because I see the importance of the show only because it's rotating guests.
Oh, Sarah's right. That page is facebook.com/poppedrfr.
Yes.
Should probably plug that.
It brings in different people every week, and I feel like it's a lot of fun to talk bands with people. I did Devo a couple weeks back with Heidi.
Yo.
It was a complete discovery.
Still here.
Yeah, it was a complete discovery app for me, but
So much fun.
it was an excuse for me to listen to Devo.
Yeah.
I'd never had one.
Shame.
Yeah, but now I have, and now I know
Yeah.
I know
And
what they're
here's
capable of.
But here's the thing: there's going to be a bunch of people out there that are going to be the same way that you are with Devo. That's how they're going to be when they listen to that night show, regardless of who the band is.
Yeah.
There's going to be people who listen and have no idea what Nirvana is,
Yeah.
and then they've got a great 10 start head start.
Yeah, and I think that's the cool thing too is Jenny Zell. She loves that show, and she listens every week. I don't know if she listened to the Limp Bizkit episode. It's possible that she skipped that one.
It's for the best. I did too.
Oh, I suffered through it.
Whatever.
Look,
You
Limp
did
Bizkit.
it off in a nookie, didn't you? You son of a bitch.
But that was a lot of fun. Me and Joe just sitting in here. There's no
fun time.
denying that Limp Bizkit, especially early Limp Bizkit, was fun.
Mm.
And I mean, it was angry, but it was fun.
True.
And I don't know, it's like a band like Oasis last night, where she's a staunch Beatles fan,
Mhm.
and she dropped them because they started saying that they were better than the Beatles. And for a guy like me, who's not necessarily a Beatles guy, that's what attracted me. I'm like, man, that's awesome.
Sure.
I love that they're being that ballsy. And her coming back around to it, I don't know if it's necessarily changed her view on Oasis, but it definitely, I saw her listening to Oasis today on her Spotify list. And I know we turned her around on The Presidents.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See, I mean, that's power. That's
And
power.
it's fun. That's the most important thing is that show is fun.
Yep.
Even the shows that aren't fun are fun.
Well, let's go ahead and skip Matt and Justin because you guys have no idea what we got in store for you with
Yeah.
this filler. And that brings us to Raw into the Hills.
Man, it almost started as a joke, right? Ooh, so we got to wrap quick. All right, so
Speed it up.
I'll just say
Sucker.
good. They're doing outstanding work.
They are doing great work.
Busting their asses.
I feel bad when one of them gets killed by the shadow government.
That'll suck.
But I feel like it's kind of what they want.
Maybe.
Thursday, chocolate milk and waffles.
Love those guys.
Love those guys.
Important. That's the word I'd use.
Definitely important.
Important show.
Important. There's been there was a couple of weeks ago. I forget the guy's name. The local actor who was portraying Frederick Douglass.
Yeah,
that was interesting as shit.
Yeah,
and I hope that lots of people tuned in for that. Okay. Well, that brings us to the other show, Stories by the Barrel Fire.
Maybe there's too much me on this station.
Nah, it's not enough.
I don't know, man. Fun. It's it's a bit within a bit. So that's all I'll say about that show.
And the newest, Piss Till Midnight.
Love those
just
guys.
Started last week.
Yeah. I love those guys. Like, especially with the rebranding, there's like a whole new fire to them.
Yeah, I've noticed.
They're
and that's
really
exciting.
It's exciting.
It's exciting to see people wake up. It's like taking the pill in the Matrix, whichever one that was that woke you up.
It's refreshing here too. It makes me want to work harder. So I'm trying.
It's not Jay Gates, it's Frederick Douglass.
So like you guys who think I'm being lazy, I'm definitely not being lazy. I'm trying my best.
We kind of got to wrap up, but I just have to reiterate, and I'm not trying to blow you yet, but your importance to not just the local music scene, but really to Radio Free Radio. I mean, obviously there wouldn't be a Radio Free Radio without you because we need your connections. No, but seriously, from the first time when I went on Zach's movie show and you were producing, I instantly liked you, and we're gonna get a little queer here.
All right.
But I knew that you had something different. You had something different to offer, and when I kind of got into what you were doing with your music show, and then when you liked issues, and I was like, oh, that's even better. I like it when people like my stuff. But when I started to get in and to really see what you were doing with podcasting and the local music, you're an invaluable part of the community. And I don't think people tell you that enough because they usually just give you the double middle fingers.
Huh.
But
I'm used to it.
I don't think that you're going to be getting that much longer because what you're doing here and the groundwork that you're helping build is invaluable. And when you've got
those guys,
when you've got people like Alfredo Torres, who, has been to the top of local radio, I mean, he was sitting on the top when he was at the Michael Bob show, when he did, the Alfredo Torres debacle. When you've got people like him think as highly of you as he does, and you got people like me who's done a couple of things, nothing great, and I think the world of you, then I really believe that other people are going to see what you're contributing and how much you're giving to the community and hopefully start to give back. And I really think you're on the verge of that.
Well, I appreciate that, but as for now, I'm going to expect more double middle fingers.
Speaking of double middle fingers, It's 9:00. We got to go straight to the old Ron to the Hills. So catch us next week when we're going to actually be on format on the Matt and Justin show.
You got a weak high five. Get on your high five. Got a weak high five. Get to work on your high five.